this situation came up in a recent game in the Tiki League, and it's one of the easier puzzles to solve in terms of getting hits on the ball. But I think it's quite interesting because it allows you to kind of look at the conditional sort of turn ordering. So how one set of dice rolls changes the next set, changes the next set, and how to sort of build in different um, things. So as usual, you can have a quick pause of the video and try and decide your best way to get hits on the ball carrier. But what you want to do, obviously, is get the best dice you can on the ball carrier, and you also want to keep as many players available so that you can recover the ball wherever it lands. And you're playing for success, but you're also playing around sort of getting the best and the most chances you can as well. So there's a few different things to think about. I'll just show you the full field position. So uh, this dwarf blitzer's on the ground. So the mummy's just got a straight 2D hit here. That player on the ground is a down zombie, so he can obviously stand up and hit here if he wants. So you've got an instant 2D uphill, and you've got an instant way of cancelling that. So you can make that an instant 1D. So yeah, there's a few different options. So let's talk through them. First of all, move the white or the ghoul around here and blitz on the 1D on the ball carrier. The ball carrier is a runner who doesn't have block. So this hit here's got a 50% chance of taking the ball down, 33% chance of getting the ball down and not being both down, and uh, sort of 4 times out of 6, so 2/3 chance you get a push. With a push, you get a follow-up hit using either the mummy on the 2D, or you could use the zombie on a 1D. So that's an absolute legitimate play. So the likelihood is you're having that's 1D into 2D. You probably don't re-roll pushes, but you would re-roll this hit here, and then the ball carrier goes down here. In that square, you would follow, and the ball would scatter into one of these 9 squares. So maybe on top of that downed white, maybe out the bottom, maybe through the hands of one of these guys, or of this zombie who's fallen into here somewhere. That's option 1. Not too bad. Option 2, down the bottom here we've got a box. So what you can do is you can hit up the way into this diagonal to this Longbeard, which pushes that zombie potentially into that square if you want. You could theoretically push into here and push the white into that square. So both of those are options. If you push the zombie up here, he would have a 1D straight away, or you could hit with the mummy. If you get a POW, then you get to have a 2D with your zombie. If you do it with the white, so you push up, bump, 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 again you could stand this zombie up. You could have the mummy across here, so you get a 2D with the white now, and it'd be into a T shape, because the mummy would be here, and presumably you haven't killed this Longbeard because of this high armor, so you're making a T here, and then you're 2Ding up the way, and potentially popping the ball out that way, and then you'd have potentially this ghoul could come around the outside and recover about here. The turn after, that ghoul would likely get hit though. However, that's definitely an option. This way with the white, this would be a blitz off the ground. So doing it the other way, doing it so that you're pushing that zombie in there. If you get the POW here, then this 2D here is without block, so there's a 1 in 9 chance it goes wrong. It's after this 1 in 9 and after that 1 in 9. So there's blockless block here, but what you can do is on the push here is push this Longbeard over 1, and the ball carrier would end up there. You could then stand this player up, push that guy away, put this one in here, that one in there, and get 2D blitz on the ball with Mighty Blow against the runner, which has got some advantages. And then, what we're also going to do is, even if we don't get the ball back, we'd be messing up the scenario. So I quite like it. There's quite a lot of sort of different ways in which you could do it, and in real time you'd have to decide which one was the best. After having explained all that, you can have a sort of guess which way I did it. For me, a lot of the decision came from what happened on the first hit. So my first hit here was this hit here. This hit here was going to be, if it was a POW, I would generate everything that I was going to do later would generate a 2D. So looking at the field position again, I would do that hit first of all. After that, if this was just a push, then I think my plan was to pivot into pushing into here, because I like the 50% chance with hitting with block, or 75% because I would put a reroll into it. So I rolled the dice, I got my POW, and so at this point it doesn't matter where I push it to. I think I push it away because I want to cover it. Oh no, I did keep myself open for that T-shape. Got the armor break, nice, all happy. And so once I saw that, I pivoted to option number 1, which was, for me, making it a block on the ball carrier, so that then I've got a backup option in the blitz. So I went for the 2D into that square there, chained up my zombie into contact, and then the zombie takes its 2D onto the runner. So that was a POW, which is obviously great, and I get to follow it. Now I want you to, I'm start the position here because that could have been a push, and so that I want you to see now that if that was a push, all I need to do is get rid of this player to make to turn it into 2D. So I can do that in a variety of ways. I could have not followed, and then I would have had a 2D straight away on this long beard, and I could have pushed him up the way, and then I could have had a free white that could have come round, zombie could have come in, and this white could have come in and blitzed. The ball, at that point, this ball carrier goes over there, so actually the better spot to pop him from is here. So what I actually do is put the white there, the zombie there, and then I blitz from this angle to pop the ball back in this direction. Now remember, this long beard's up here, I've followed into there, so what I'm actually doing is popping him into there and hoping that the ball scatters in the downward direction through either the white would be on his feet, or there'd be a gap behind him where this ghoul and this zombie could become my sort of final protection. I probably should have stood this guy up early. As it happened, I got the POW with the first thing, which was obviously great. I wouldn't have re-rolled that. And then the rest of the turn plays out like this. So I stand up to cover him. I now have a blitz available, so I can clear this long beard with a blitz. So I do this using a block full blitz. I use my white that's on the ground to make the block, and I want to follow to cover the box scatter area, and I actually want to move in here so that I can make a 2D later. Now I want the ball, so the ball comes back, and I get out of the way because this is quite early in the drive, and I can stall out from here, and I want to be fully out of range of this guy coming in. And then I double up here because I think there is a way to get around if this goes wrong. So I push him away, and we're all happy. And then we go on and we score, and we win 1-0. Alright, not sure if that was useful, but I thought it was useful to talk through the thought processes that the step-by-step way in which I thought about that turn. See you later.